Hey guys, welcome to episode 4 of the weekly CX catch up, where we deliver late news with the latest insights. So, Harshini, what's the first story for this week?
Well, Vinay, the first story of our week comes from a very unexpected consumer facing subscription app, and it's none other than Tinder. So, Tinder recently hit the headlines for their new The Game. So, basically, the Game feature allows users of Tinder to interact with AI voice characters. Now, how they achieved it, they went on a collab with OpenAI. So, they wanted to expand their range of offerings, and this seems to have hit the spot with the young people. And just like any other spot of the internet where AI is being discussed, the question of like how much AI is too much AI is again up in the air.
What else has Tinder introduced in terms of AI now?
The AI advancement has already caught long in the whole dating sphere because we have applications like character.ai and other AI dating apps introducing AI into their features in a very subminimal manner. For example, the chat enhancements through AI, smart image recognizers were done. But this seems to be of a different take. At least that's what the Tinder reps are claiming to be, because this conversation is seen to be timed. Now, this again asks the question from the netizen is that wouldn't this desensitize users? Wouldn't this cause user fatigue? Because dating seems to be like a very meaningful space for people to come together and meet new people, right? So when you bring in technology and bring in more AI into it, wouldn't this desensitize users around this whole experience? So that's the big question of the week as well.
Speaking of dating, in real life, dating still happens in places like restaurants. I recently came across an article in which they said that a few high-end restaurants in London have started imposing a minimum upfront spend amount when people make bookings. The reason they're doing this is to avoid reservation squatting and freeloading by social media influencers. Now, the problematic behavior by influencers is a different topic altogether, so let's not go there. Let's just look at the implications this has for CX. For one, this means that the restaurants have to give the best of the best experience and they have to do it consistently. In some cases, the upfront payment goes up to £100, which is about $130, and in other cases, it's like £80 per head, which is not a small amount by any measure, right? So this just means that you need to give a positive experience. You have to be consistent about it. Next, this move adds an exclusivity quotient to the restaurant, thereby increasing its demand. It's a double-edged sword for sure, and we just have to see how it pans out in the long run.
Oh, I hear you. When I understand the whole exclusivity question and businesses, especially retails and restaurants, trying to get into that luxe premium feel of their brand. But for me, it all boils down to value perception that is created by that very brand. So let's just say there is a minimum spend or a minimum ask for me to get into that sphere of that business. Say I want to pay like 5,000 upfront to have a table in your restaurant. For me, it's more cold than warm because it's more like it's not we are waiting for you to show up. It's more like prove it that you will show up. And it's also a big ask that, okay, let's just say that there's a minimum spend to it. Will the experience be maximum? So like you rightly said, it is a double-edged sword, and I hope businesses can handle it quite well.
So what else do we have today?
Oh, I came across a very interesting article from the Wired this week, and the title of that article is what I want to talk about. It is basically a question, an industry expert's honest cry, and what exactly is a podcast? So you and I, we are seated here talking to each other as a conversation, and a survey with like 76% of respondents would call this as a podcast, but industry experts disagree. A podcast, they would like to keep it as an audio-visual format, audio-only format, and a video-only format is just videos or new names that we could come up with. Now, why this conversation is important right now is because this puts an invisible pressure on not just businesses, but also ad agencies and advertisers, because there is a budgeting constraint here. So they should also account into different types of formats of podcasts and videos. This might tip over their little spend.
Yeah, so while as long as it stays just audio only, the amount of time, effort, and money involved might be a bit less. But if it's going to be video, the amount is just going to shoot up drastically, right?
Absolutely. Not only that, it also creates an air of pressure on marketers like ourselves and content creators, because this is something that is not our role. It is more adjacent to it, or should I say even perpendicular to it, because we are now forced to step into the roles of influencers in our own domain and take part in social live events and promotions. So this is a very interesting ask on what exactly is a podcast now.
Yeah, so I just hope the word of this year could be podcast, and the Oxford Dictionary comes up with a proper definition for the word. So that brings us to the end of the stories for this episode. The ad for the week is this clever ad by Rapido, a ride-hailing app. We love the ad for its conciseness, catchy jingle, and Rashomon-esque storytelling. You can watch the ad through the link in the description. Hope you enjoyed watching this episode. Until next time.